Hey folks, we are out here on the Meeks Mountain Trails in Hurricane, West Virginia, home of the H100K, coming to you on September 10th, 2022. And on behalf of the Meeks Mountain Trail Alliance, our events team, Ashley, Brandon, Hager, Stewarts, Robert, and Vanessa, my name is Matt Young, and we are so excited to bring you this race. $7,500 up for grabs. You can run this race as solo for the 62 miles, and you can run it as a relay team, co-ed, all male and all female, and we have $7,500 to give away as part of that. All of this is made possible by a bunch of local businesses that are committed to their community. Our title sponsor is the City of Hurricane and Mayor Scott Edwards that have put up the $7,500. And our presenting sponsor, Little Caesars, which means there's plenty of hot and ready pizza at the finish line for you. They are also wonderful contributors to our community. It is starting to rain on us. We are out here on these trails, but it may be raining on race day. We have to be prepared for all of this. So, I tell you, we are here on Wegman's Wall, named for our good friend Greg Wegman. He is one of the 350 volunteers that have put in over 12,000 hours building these handcrafted trails just for you to come and enjoy. And we're going to showcase them for you. Some of these features, just like this cave behind us, we have all kinds of this stuff ready for you for the race. We are here to continue our runner education and runner profile series with Charley Bowen. Charley, excited to have you here, man. Let me introduce Charley to you. He is 53 years old. He's a clinical psychologist, works in Cross Lanes, grew up in Ona, and lives in the Hurricane area now. He has been running practically his entire life, doing track in middle school and high school, took his 20s off, started running again in his 30s. Since then, he was doing 5Ks and 10Ks, has gotten into doing marathons and ultra marathons, has over 23 of those under his belt, including 4 of the world's major marathons, 2 Bostons, where he has a PR of 3:16, and he did that just shy of his 50th birthday. So, Charley, man, we're excited to have you out here running with us. You're locked and loaded, ready for this race. And so I've got a few questions for you, one of which is, man, you've been running your entire life, like 30 or 40 years. And over that time, it's changed and adapted from short distance on the track to middle distance and now doing long distance. Man, how has that changed for you over the years? And how, at 53, do you still do this at such a high level and stay so healthy?
All right. I think the main thing is I've always just really loved running. I kind of got into running like through school or elementary school and stuff. I was a baseball player. Didn't run much. And then when I was in junior high school at Ona there, we had to run a mile and a half back in those days. And whenever the coach had us running around the gym, getting ready for the mile and a half run, I just kept passing people, and I just really enjoyed it. And then I was also a wrestler, so I was running, to stay in shape for wrestling. But even when we would run the hills and things for wrestling around the school hallways, I just always loved it. And, that was where I excelled more than even on the mat. And so, I ran through junior high school and through high school and ran cross country for 1 year. And then, like you said, I took my 20s off and gained a lot of weight and got out of shape like many of us do. But then I started running and got in shape at between 29 and 30. And then my wife signed me up for my first 5K. And I ran like 1940 something. And I ran my age group, and then I was hooked. From then I just kept running and wanted to challenge myself. And I ran, like you said, a lot of 5Ks and 10Ks. But I always wanted, for some reason, the marathon was always there. So in 2004, Marshall had their first marathon, and I trained for that thing. And I bought a book called The 4-Hour Marathon because I wanted to go in 4 hours, and that was my goal. And I had, by the time I got there training, I had knee problems, and I got to mile 18, and I was just done. And this old man, he was from Texas, so I'll never forget him. He was 72 years old, I think he told me. He had run like over 50-some marathons and was trying to do one in every state. And I started walking for the first time. He said, "Hey, Sonny, you're too young to walk. Come on." And I said, okay. So I was jogging with him, and he helped me, get going again. And by the time I got into Ritter Park in Huntington, he said, "I'm holding you up now. Go on." I said, "I don't feel right about that." He said, "No, go on." And then I ended up getting my goal. I ran like 3:46. Nice. But still, it's just the part of what I love about the running and the passion of it is just the community. And it started with that run, the community. And I didn't run my next marathon until 2011. But still, I never forgot that guy, and I knew I always wanted to get back to the marathon distance and beyond. And and I just have kept going and like challenged myself.
Well, so and he was in his 70s running
his
like
70s.
he's probably going to crack 4 hours. That's pretty impressive
Yeah,
too.
and I'm sure he did. I saw him afterwards. He did. He wasn't that far behind me.
Yeah. So you've done a couple. You said your favorite race is Rim to River, and you finished that twice, and you gave Highland Sky an honorable mention. Finished that twice. That's my all-time favorite race.
Yeah.
So really, now we're getting into 100 milers and 40 milers too.
Yes. Yeah.
But that sounds like it's kind of in your wheelhouse now.
Yes, and that's the thing that's kind of changed when you ask like what's changed. For years it was 5Ks and 10Ks, and I a lot of times placed in my age group and things. But for some reason, I just the lure of the longer distances and wanting to challenge myself and just see what my body can do.
Yeah.
And I got into my first 50K was Canal Trace. I think that was like 2013, and hot and humid, just rough conditions. And then, of course, the Frozen Sasquatches is a great race here in West Virginia in the Canal State Forest. They do a great job, and I've placed in that one. I placed in the top 5. I think it was 2018, and then it was just, Caleb is the reason got me into like the 40-mile distance. He ran the first Highland Sky, and I saw what he did, and I was like, I got to do that, and it was tough. And it's still, as far as terrain, even more so than the 100-miler terrain, I just love that race because it's just challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you are professional clinical psychologist, and so you do that for a living. You help other people. Man, it's got to help yourself. Running is a physical discipline, but it is definitely it's a physical activity. It's a mental discipline, mental pursuit. How does your training, how does your professional life kind of play into all this to make you strong in your mind so you can finish these things?
Yeah. Well, good question. I've learned so much from my patients. I've been a clinical psychologist since 2001, and I've worked with so many patients who have had so many, challenges in their life, with so much loss, and people dealing with addiction issues and mental health issues, and just walking with them and seeing what they've overcome, and then helping them with that as far as how to compartmentalize things, or how to reframe things, and how to just keep getting up every day and, putting one foot in front of the other, and just living life and continuing to set goals and have things to look forward to if they're majorly depressed and things. And so when I'm out, when I'm out training, and it's fitting that it's raining today, is like, I believe, you train in all conditions, because you never believe what, know what race day is going to be. And even when you're running those longer distances, you're going to have ups and downs. And when you have those downs, you just got to be able to, compartmentalize. Like, okay, this is where I'm at right now. What do I need to do right now to get through this period? Because this period won't last. And, I'll have another high today. And if I get to that finish line, that's going to be the major high. So what do I need to do? Like, do I need to fuel? Do I need to drink? Do I need to walk? What do I need to do to just keep moving and putting one foot in front of the other? And do I need to take a break? Just all of those things. It's just the same as life. We have challenges. We get, knocked down. One of the things, it's kind of funny, but it's a Rocky quote. If you want a Rocky quote.
Yeah.
But I think it's in the Rocky Balboa movie. He said, it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And I think that's a testament to life, and also definitely when you're running 50s and 100Ks and 100 milers, it's like, okay, at some point, something's not going to go right during this day, and how am I going to manage that?
Right.
And that's where the mental fortitude and this grittiness that Caleb always likes to say comes in. Like, how am I going to get through this? And just the belief that you will.
Yeah, so in Rim to River, man, 2 times.
Yes.
You've had this condition, temporary blindness, and we were walking up here, and I said, man, you can't even see. How in the world do you keep going without dropping? And your answer, you don't even consider it.
I never really thought about it. And a part of that too is having good people around you, having good pacers. And during that time, I had my brother-in-law, Bobby Ray, because 2021, I started experiencing the blindness around mile 55, believe it or not. It was so frustrating because I had trained so hard to go under 24 hours. And I was well on pace to do that, and then that fogginess set in, before I got from the halfway point to the next aid station, which was at 57. Around mile 55, I started, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I had some plans and things to try, and I did. I took my contacts out, but really what got me through was just, my brother-in-law, Bobby, and then Scott Partlow that I told you about. just them being with me and them continuing to talk and keep my mind off things and pick me up when I fell, because I fell 24 times. I think I counted, or plus, and I was bruised and dinged up, and I just knew I wanted to get to the finish line. But really, to be honest, without those folks, I couldn't have stayed on the trail, because I couldn't see markers. I would have been lost. So really, what got me through that was the people, and that's what's so cool about this sport, is the community.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, is a lot of times we're out there, we're trying to do anything we can to keep our minds occupied. You had one, you were counting how many times you fell. So that's kind of an interesting way to do it too. How many times can I fall between here and the finish line too? So it really is. It's kind of like a no retreat, no surrender. You go into these things and you have to have in your mind that I will finish no matter what. I will keep taking steps until I can no longer take another step. Right. So great way to do that too. Now, the Caleb he keeps referring to, part of the reason we have Charley out here, his last name is Bowen. We have a Caleb Bowen. So this is a father and son deal out here. And he's actually wearing his shirt that says, "I'm Caleb's dad," on the back. Yes. And so I'm just teasing about that. It's a Boston Marathon shirt. So, but what's going to be so cool about it, and what I think is so awesome, I've heard Caleb say that you inspired him from a young age, and you continue to inspire him. And as a father, which my son's named Charley too, man, I would absolutely love it if someday we were doing these things together. But you guys are here in your hometown doing this 100K. You're both running it together. You do other races together, man. Yeah. What is that like for you as a dad?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think my claim to fame is I am Caleb's dad.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when I'm running these races and trail different places, they're like, when I say my name, "Are you Caleb's dad?" So that's how I'm known. It's like, "Hey, Mr. Bowen," with a lot of his athletes and things. But it's so special running these events with him, and running in the same event as him. A lot of times people say, "What's it like running with Caleb?" I said, "Well, you know what? I don't really know.
Right.
I haven't ran with Caleb since he was 12, because I'm somewhere in the back or in the middle, but it's just, I'm so proud of him, and it's just so special to be able to, I'm his biggest fan, and that's the one thing, even as he was growing up in track and cross country and doing well, I just stayed his fan. I never really tried to be his coach. I mean, if I did try to give him advice, he usually shrugged it off, and his coach could tell him the same thing. Because he had great mentors in our area. Bubby Dent was an awesome mentor for him, and Bill Posey, and Coach Henley, and then also Coach Schultz. And so he had so many good coaches. I just stayed dad. I never really tried to coach him. And then when he started, he always said, because I was already running marathons and ultras, and when he was in college, he said, "When I get done with college, I want to start running those things." And he did, and his success, he just really developed as a trail runner. I just really think that's his passion and his talent. I mean, he did great on the roads, and he did great in track, but the trails just fit him. He just seems like a natural. And the whole time, even in the 100-miler, every aid station, I'm asking, "How's Caleb doing?
Yeah.
Who's up front?"
Yeah.
Trying to check it out. So I that's another way I kind of don't focus on me and what's happening with me. I can't wait. When am I going to see him? Because this past year at Rim the River, I think he was coming up towards the Long Point aid station, and when I was going down, so that means I was at 38, 39 maybe.
45, and he was 70.
And he was 70.
Yeah.
If that tells you anything.
Yeah, right.
And when I saw him, I was like, yeah, and he's getting ready to give me a hug. I said, "Quick hug." I said, "I'm sure Dan's close." And sure enough, 2 minutes down the road, there was Dan. Yeah. I was like, "Hey, he's just right up there," But it's just such an honor, and I feel, just blessed to be able to run these races with him. And the only down point to that is the ones he's won, I haven't been there at the finish line.
Yeah.
And I do miss that. His mom's been there, but I missed that. But yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
They say, at some point the roles reverse. And so now he's there for you at the finish line too.
And he has been.
And I know he has. I've seen him wrapped up in a blanket, man, just hanging out for hours, waiting on his dad. But that's, he is so fast, and you're not far behind, but coming in there too. So, man, I hope that everybody that's watching this, man, we have built this run for our community and to bring other people in. We are so excited to have our guests come in. We do know we have a ton of local and talented runners that are dedicated to defending our dirt, but we hope that others will come in and race for the money in this too. Come and see what Hurricane West Virginia is all about. Come and see what Meeks Mountain Trails are all about. You're going to enjoy it. Charley, man, thank you for your time out here. been great to do it. For everybody else, remember September 10th, 2022, coming out here, the first ever Hurricane 100K. On behalf of, again, of our Meeks Mountain Trail Alliance and our events team, Ashley, Brandon, Hager, Stewarts, Robert, and Vanessa, we'll see you all out there.